Music fades in softly, slow piano notes in the background. There are men, and then there are men who see. This story is about one such man, a man who refused to be blind, who refused to be a slave to illusions, and who dared to question the very foundation of love, marriage, and loyalty. His name doesn't matter, because he could be you. He could be any man who has ever loved, trusted, and given his heart, only to wake up one day and realize nothing was what it seemed. The beginning of love. In the early days of his marriage, he believed in fairy tales. He believed that love was pure, eternal, and selfless. When his wife smiled at him, he thought it was because she loved him deeply. When she held his hand, he believed it was affection. When she said, "I'll never leave you," he thought it was a promise carved in stone. But deep inside, something always felt strange. There were moments, small, subtle, almost invisible, when her actions didn't match her words. She would say, "I love you," but her eyes seemed distracted. She would hug him warmly, but there was a coldness beneath the surface. She would promise loyalty, yet her behavior whispered otherwise. At first he ignored it. He thought, maybe I'm overthinking, maybe it's just stress, maybe love isn't perfect. But slowly, something inside him began to awaken. The hidden game. It started with small things. Whenever he disagreed with her, she became silent. Not just silent, but strategically silent. The kind of silence that burns more than 1,000 words. Whenever she wanted something, she wouldn't ask directly. Instead, she would create situations where he had no choice but to give in. And whenever he questioned her, tears. Not real tears. Tears with purpose. Tears designed to shift guilt from her to him. At first he thought she was sensitive, but slowly he realized this wasn't sensitivity. This was strategy. She wasn't playing consciously. This wasn't deliberate manipulation. Number. It was deeper than that. It was unconscious. And that's when he stumbled upon Sigmund Freud, the man who changed everything. Freud's mirror. Freud once said, "Human beings are not in control of themselves. The unconscious mind drives most of what we do." When he read this, it hit him like lightning. Everything suddenly made sense. His wife wasn't evil. She wasn't sitting there planning schemes like a villain. Instead, her unconscious desires, her need for control, security, and validation, were shaping her actions. She didn't lie because she hated him. She lied because, deep down, she feared losing power. She didn't manipulate because she wanted to hurt him. She manipulated because her unconscious mind believed that love was a battlefield, and on a battlefield you win or you die. This realization changed him. He began to observe silently. He watched her words. He watched her body language. He listened to the hidden meaning behind every "I love you," and what he saw broke him. Love, but conditional. He discovered a truth so dark, so painful, that it shattered his beliefs. Most love is conditional. Her affection depended on one thing: obedience. The moment he agreed with her, life was peaceful. The moment he disagreed, she became distant, cold, and punishing. He tested it. One day he intentionally said no to something small, just to see what would happen. Within minutes she changed. Her warmth disappeared. Her sweetness turned into ice. That was the day he realized she didn't love him. She loved the version of him that served her narrative. The awakening. Once you see, you cannot unsee. He began to connect the dots, not just about her, but about all relationships. He observed his friends, his relatives, the marriages around him. He saw the same patterns everywhere: silent punishments, emotional blackmail, strategic tears, conditional affection, control disguised as care. And then he saw something even darker. Whenever a man begins to wake up, the system turns against him. The woman calls him cold, toxic, uncaring. Friends say, "You've changed." Family whispers, "You're destroying your marriage." But deep down, he knew the truth. They weren't defending love. They were defending the illusion. Because once one man wakes up, He threatens the entire structure. The price of seeing freedom always comes with a price. The more he understood, the more alone he became. He stopped reacting to her emotional traps. He stopped apologizing for things he didn't do. He stopped chasing validation. And that scared her. She accused him of being distant. She cried louder. She fought harder. Because his awakening meant one thing. Greater than her control was dying. But he stayed calm. He didn't fight. He didn't explain. He simply observed. And slowly something beautiful began to happen inside him. Peace. For the first time, he wasn't living for approval. He wasn't scared of Ellie.